Yes, it's one day before Christmas and it's 1 week before New Year's Eve. I say this is an excellent moment to look back at 2021. Yes, hello everyone. It's Friday, 24 December, and we have Christmas trees, we have Christmas balls, and we have Wim van der Kamp, European Year of Rail Ambassador. Now, as the ambassador of the European Year of Rail, how do you feel about the end of the year?
Positive at the end, because we had a slow start because of COVID-19 and many public activities we had to cancel. But at the end, and to be honest, still 3 months to go, because we take some months from 22 as well. I think we had a great year for promoting rail and RailFreight especially.
Because you said that we have 3 more months. Does that mean that the European Year of Rail goes until the end of March?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
The closing activities by the French presidency of the European Union will be in Paris at the end of March. And there will be also a Dutch closing moment in Brussels, in our Dutch embassy. No, I think we did a lot, but not enough.
Yeah. Why would you say that?
Let's see, first of all, we had the Connecting European Express in beginning of October. 25 days, 25 countries. A lot of attention to RailFreight as well. Conferences on the the train.
I'm not sure if I agree with them, because there was, I think, one moment in Battenberg where they had a RailFreight conference.
Okay, but in the train we had quite a lot of attention to RailFreight corridors, RailFreight multimodal approaches. And at the end of October, we went with the COP26 train to Glasgow.
Were you on that train as well?
I was on that train as well. It was impressive from Amsterdam to London, changing trains in London to Glasgow. And in that train, there was again a lot of attention to RailFreight. And of course, we always have to fight a little bit with the passenger trains. But the main thing is that under these 2 activities, we have these 3 policy papers of the European Union. The first one is the Smart and Sustainable Mobility Strategy. This is, by the way, from December 2020. Okay. Then we had the Green Deal package of June 2021, and after summer we got Fit for 55.
But would those have been there without the European Year of Rail as well?
Later. No, the whole idea still is to promote the modal shift. We are not yet very successful in that, because the road sector is especially very competitive. Of course, you can talk about the social working circumstances from the drivers. This is indeed an item the RailFreight sector has to conquer as well, and to promote their activities. But these 3 basic policy papers can extend the RailFreight sector the next years. Please take care, when the European Year of Rail is finished, we don't stop with rail. Take care. We are promoting it, we are extending it. And what I learned especially is that our sector is quite slow, to be honest. And I know it's a dangerous remark, but if I see Ryanair and EasyJet, how fast they adapt themselves with this COVID-19, then I really have to say, please, rail freight sector and rail passenger sector become a little bit faster, because market developments, economic developments, they go faster than the railway sector at this moment is handling.
If we take a look at 2021, it's always a little bit of a standard procedure, but yet I do want to ask, what is the highlight in your regard?
The highlight for me were the two train travels, one the CEE through Europe and the one to Glasgow.
And why is that?
Yeah, that made it clear to the public that railways are alive and kicking.
Yeah.
Because these three policy papers, which are very important for the sector, the normal people, the ordinary public, is not so much acquainted with all these papers, but for the sector they are very important.
Yeah.
And
do you feel they made a difference? Those journeys?
Yes. Yeah. Because now we see that many companies, especially startups, are still trying to connect with the Dutch rail freight sector, but also with the European Union for competition, subsidies, better railway path, especially for the railway sector. So these are elements which we can be proud on, but
there's always a but.
There's always a but.
Yeah.
Besides a model shift, we need a mental shift.
Yeah.
Everybody now, especially the big companies, they are talking about social responsible entrepreneurship. But then I say, okay, show it to me by transporting your goods in a clean and green railway sector.
And are you seeing that among companies?
Yes, but not enough.
No.
Not enough. The sector is, I said, according to me, a little bit slow.
Yeah.
The sector is not always competitive because we have this track access charges. And that's another item I like to emphasize, and that's the pricing.
Yeah, they need.
I think we need a better pricing for the railway sector.
Yeah.
So I hope also the new Dutch cabinet is going to kill the track access charges.
I hope they're watching.
Okay. Yeah, they will.
They will watch.
And that's the advantage of this broadcast.
Yeah.
They have 14 days to watch it again between or under the Christmas.
Yes, absolutely
Christmas
true.
tree.
Watch this broadcast during Christmas. Yes.
Yeah. Another item I like to touch is the labor market. I think the railway sector needs more attention and even more investments in the staff, because now we see that there are a lot of baby boomers still in the sector. We are graying, myself as the best example, and we have to pick up new technicians, but also people who are acquainted with digital.
Yeah.
The whole better use, more efficient use of railways is by digitalization. And if you talk about wagons and locomotives, people may be not directly interested. But if you talk about digitalization, making the whole system modern and quicker, then I think we can attract a lot of people.
Yeah, it's also what the Austrians said. I think ÖBB said it. We have to make it more attractive, this industry.
The sector can be very attractive, but up till now we are a little bit narrow-minded. We are a little bit into ourselves.
Yeah.
Please open the windows, open the doors, also after 2021.
Let's do that. Now, we are also going to look at an ultimate low. Is there an ultimate low in 2021, in your opinion?
What do you mean with an ultimate low?
A point where you thought, this is the worst I've seen so far this year.
For me, the best example is Bad Bentheim. Rail freight trains, especially in the weekend, they have to wait sometimes for 24 hours.
That is currently happening, isn't it?
Still.
Yes.
And sometimes for 6 hours after the weekend. How can we talk about a seamless European rail freight transport if these national borders are still killing our sector?
Yeah.
Also the elaboration of the Betuwe line near Oberhausen, you all know it, it's still a challenge. And these, as I learned as an ambassador, that implementation of Brussels politics, of European politics, is quite more difficult than I knew when I was in the parliament. In the parliament we made the third railway package, the fourth railway package, we promoted market opening, but if you go back to real life and you see the implementation of all these policies, we have a tough way to go.
Yeah, that's interesting, because that means that there is a little bit of a distance between Brussels and the rest of Europe.
Distance is maybe not the right word, but the differences in tempo, in tempi, is quite large.
Yeah.
And of course, paper politics from Brussels, they can be very patient, but reality, to realize the real market opening, it's still difficult.
Yeah. All right. To close off, let's see, do you have a wish for 2022? Or a New Year's resolution?
Yes. No, let's be careful. The year 2022 is the European Year of Youth.
Yeah.
And now I see already many initiatives, also in companies, in railway companies, that they want to make a combination of the European Year of Rail and the European Year of Youth. So promoting traveling by train, we all know in the Dutch system the tienerkaart and all these systems, but second goal is to attract new staff.
Yeah.
And I see quite a lot of initiatives. I'm a little bit surprised of this combination of the European Year of Rail and the European Year of Youth. So that's my wish for 2022.
Okay, beautiful. And what are you going to do next year?
First, I finish this job, and then I will see if there is another part-time job for me, because I know that working a little bit, staying connected to the society, is the best health measure you can have.
All right. I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
Have nice days.
You too. Now, we have another concept, you already saw it coming by, and that is the CEO Talks. The CEO Talks is actually our way of reaching out to the industry leaders by sitting with them and having a bit of a longer talk, getting to know the person behind the function. So we have done that, and we have done that with Uwe Leuschner, who is the CEO of FELB. We met him at the European Silk Road Summit, in Amsterdam. We sat with him, took a lot of time. It's a long interview, but we gave it to you for Christmas. So have a look, and for now, I already wish you a very Merry Christmas and a happy 2022.
So, Mr. Leuschner, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, thank you very much for being here today. It's really a pleasure to have you for an interview. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Pleasure for me to be invited from media.
Great.
And to be here.
You are one of the leading figures in Eurasian transportation. You are the CEO of FELB. And you're a very interesting figure, and I really want to learn more about you. So let's start from the basics. I want to learn about your background, where you grew up. I'm pretty sure that I know that you went to school in Moscow, right?
No, it's not right.
No? I thought that we had this discussion in RailFreight Summit Poland.
No, I was a long time working in Moscow, and it was a real nice time. But I studied in Prague, in Czech Republic, and that was a great time for me. I studied foreign trade operations.
All right.
That is, of course, up to now, supporting all in my ideas and relations also to the Eastern European world.
All right. And where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Eastern Germany.
Eastern Germany.
And it was for me really a good chance during GDR time in the 80s to come to Prague and to open my views, my perspectives a little bit more internationally, and to learn languages and to get some inputs from outside, and it was an amazing time.
How did you choose Prague for your studies? Was it because of the study program, or?
It was a question of the study program, yeah. When I went to Prague, I was still not so sure in Czech language, but it happens quite well and quite quick, and it is still for me a very, very great experience to have this input in my life.
So from what I understand, you speak Czech, you speak German, and what other languages?
Of course, I'm speaking Czech, German. Yeah, I'm of course speaking Russian. That is for me a very, very important tool. English, and of course, I was also a couple of months in China, and started to speak Mandarin a little bit.
Okay.
And a little bit French and then Italian.
All right, so you're multilingual for sure.
I'm trying to do so because, you know, in my personal understanding, I'm a logistic guy, of course, but one of my tools are the languages, and in this way, I feel very, very often as an interpreter, and that is quite important to become a guy who can understand different cultures and to find each other personally, because that is the basic for doing business.
Understanding cultures, this is like one of the main keys for success in your business, right? Business
Absolutely,
sector.
that is the absolutely main case. And if I'm just now more or less on the end of my professional life, looking back, I can advise to everybody, for the youngers, learn languages, and not only English. To explain, for example, to Russians something about Western values in American English, it is absolutely without success.
So yes, you need to learn ways apart from languages to communicate and get in the mind of other people,
For
right?
sure, for sure. And if you, in our business, you are very, very dependent from networks, from people relations, from knowledge who is responsible in what, and to find out how these guys are reflecting also your requests and your interests. Yeah, you need this personal relationship.
But even in this modern age where everything is globalized more or less and we have international means of communication, let's say, like English, everybody speaks English more or less, but
Of course.
still it's important, right?
That is a must. English is a must. Yeah. And if you are looking for the younger generations, as in China, as in Russia, more and more people are speaking English. But however, to understand each other and to get trust each other, it means also a little bit more to understand how they are feeling, what is the background of the culture, and the only one tool is the language.
So for you, logistics is not only business, purely business, it's also about bringing different communities and cultures together, and this is a very interesting perspective, I must say. That's why you also work in the Eurasian sector, right? To bridge the gap between the different continents, more or less.
When I joined into the Eurasian sector, I was related with my former company, where I was a shareholder, and also later when I started to join into Deutsche Bahn structures and into Schenker structures, very, very related to the CIS country business and also to China. Yeah. And nobody could at this moment expect what is happening with our product portfolio, and we had a lot of hope, but it was not secured. And today we know we are over the, I would say, children time. Yeah? And we have the problems of younger guys.
Yes.
Looking for certain different directions and checking up what is possible and what's not, but it's very interesting, and that is my feeling up to now. Yeah.
So you're still intrigued by the sector, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And motivated every day for that.
That sounds good, and I'm going to get back on this because right now you're the CEO of FELB, but I would like to know your professional background as well a bit. Did you have other executive roles before FELB?
Yeah, of course. I joined into the logistic business in the middle of the 90s, and I had a chance to take part as a shareholder of a structure, Rivico, that was a mid-sized company, but developing 3PL services in especially Eastern European countries. Finally, we had 15 countries, including China. And we sold this company in 2006, and after a guaranteed time by the new owner, I joined in 2009 into Deutsche Bahn, and my first task was to reorganize the structure of the Schenker companies in the CIS countries. And that was not an easy job, but nevertheless it was very, very focusing me for Eurasian business challenges, and in this way I'm happy that from 2014 I took over the CEO function of DB Cargo Russia, and I later reorganized the Trans-Eurasia Logistics into the DB Cargo Eurasia company as a managing director, and from this time I got a lot of experiences, and my task was every time to think with my colleagues what we can do to improve our service, and that is up to now my task. Yeah. And in 2020 I decided to left DB and for some internal reasons, and to find out a new focus for continuing in my ideas and my efforts. And it took only a couple of days when the colleagues from the board of SED called me and asked me, "You're ready to go to FELB?" And of course I had a perspective to FELB from outside, yeah. But however, it was more or less also a black hole, yeah. And I visited the FELB offices in Vienna and in Germany and checked up what could be the challenge. And finally, after a couple of weeks, I decided, okay, it's really a challenge to improve again FELB as one of the first companies, operator companies in a corridor. We will have next year our 15th anniversary. Again, and but FELB is becoming a strong operator again, yeah, on a corridor, and on this task I'm working every day.
So, if I understand correctly, the challenge that attracted your interest was to actually create a new profile for the company, right?
I wouldn't say a new profile, but FELB was in the last years more or less a broker, yeah. And we know we need strong operators, companies guaranteeing the whole service and to connect with certain different partners on a corridor, and to find out new ways and new elements to present to the market a product which will have not only an attractiveness, which can also close the requests of more and more clients we are trying to invite to work with railway as a very modern and very substantial ways of logistics and of shipments.
And do you find your role quite challenging in doing that?
Absolutely. One of my first steps I had done, and that is not a pleasure of my employees, to start with a procedure of certification ISO 9001, to recover all our internal and also outside processes of our actings. And we had in 2020 only 18% of our revenues as our own direct operator business. The rest was more or less a broker business, and that is absolutely dramatically changed just now. We are acting at the moment with 85% own business, and we have really good results for 2021, but we have to secure that also in 22.
Now, FELB stands for Far East Land Bridge, right?
That's right.
Are there a lot of gaps to bridge between China and Europe, you think?
Of course, it is the challenging issue, and my understanding is, for our operations, we have to organize 3 circles. One circle is for transportation and the shipment in China. One circle is for transportation and shipment on certain different ways in 1520 in the CIS countries. And one task is to organize a very, very efficient transportation procedure in Europe. And as you know, I already started in my DB time to establish multimodal solutions to go via Kaliningrad and the Baltic Sea to Europe. And at this time it was beginning, we started that in 2007 with negotiations, and it was not a, I would say, a project getting support from everybody. Yeah. Today it is a normal project and everybody is crying, hey, Kaliningrad is full. Yeah. But however, multimodal solutions on a way between China or between Asia and Europe is an absolutely must for the future, and it is up to now it is normal. But we have to indicate another new directions, and FELB just now started, and I'm pushing that to to go via St. Petersburg in the near future with more volumes, and absolutely sure we will find out good ways to secure also the growth in a corridor in the future.
Yes, it sounds very busy and with many different focal points, this business. So I'm wondering, how does the life of a CEO look like? How does your everyday life is? Do you have free time? Do you only focus on work?
Of course, 2021, my first year as a FELB CEO for the whole group, was very, very intensive. Yeah, but nevertheless, I'm also trying to be who I am. Yeah, I have a family with 3 children, and I'm already a great father, and I'm going back also to Berlin continuously for a couple of hours or 2-3 days, and of course, I'm still trying also to fill my hobbies. I was a former sportsman in GDR.
What kind of sports?
I was swimmer, and I was also playing in a national team of our water ball sport, and I'm still trying to do so, and for me, I'm a private pilot. With a small own airplane, and if the weather is good, I'm also trying to fly. And Vienna and Berlin is not so far away each other, and I'm also just sometimes using my airplane to go to my working place and to go.
It must be fun, right?
And it's very funny. Yeah.
And does your background in sport play the role in the way that you perceive business in terms of competitiveness? Do you also always want to be a winner?
Of course, maybe it is one of the backgrounds of my life. I learned a lot at this time as a young guy, and it's another advice. You have to learn that you have to battle about everything what you are trying to reach, and that was every time a principle in my life, and still inside my hearse and my ideas, and of course that's very important for me.
And you mentioned that you have 3 children. Are they studying now? How old are they?
I have 2 daughters, 35 and 37 years old.
Is any one of them involved in logistics?
No, we are working at the moment in a hotel business,
okay,
and in a tourism business.
So nobody followed the steps of their
but
father.
We are very, very international, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, also in Asia, and my larger daughter a long time in US. And I have a son who is just now 22 years old, and he is studying, and he is also trying to follow up some of my background experiences.
Okay.
And I hope so that he will find also his way, maybe also in the logistic industry.
Of course. Now, you mentioned previously that you're moving towards the end of your professional career. Does that mean that you're getting retired in a few years?
I don't know. Okay, yeah, everybody of us have age of retirement. Yeah. I'm perhaps 4.5 years away. For sure, I'm not trying to finish my activities on this age barrier, but nevertheless, you have to find out also, and that is also a principle in my managing understanding. I'm trying to find out young people be motivated to take over all the new tools of digitalization, of sustainability as a very, very important remark of the future business behavior. And I'm trying to teach my people with the experiences I got, and to be prepared that we can, independent from myself, continue in this way to be successful. That's the case.
So you don't really envision yourself away from logistics even if you retire, right? More or less you will be involved.
I will be connected. It is not a question, but it is important to have a new generation with new horizons also in their understanding. Yeah? I got yesterday here on a forum the question, Uwe, what do you think about a corridor in 10 years? And quite open. And frankly, I don't know. Yeah? But I'm sure the corridor will exist. How it will work and what will be the technologies we are using in 10 years. Yeah? I have some imaginations. Yeah? We are discussing already 4 years about blockchain. Yeah, hopefully we will get it. Yeah, but it means also we have to organize more integrated values and integrated understanding that we are service providers, and we are not only entrepreneurs to earning money. We have to understand that we have to improve our cooperation each other, and we have also understand we are acting on a request of the clients, and nobody today can say what is a client request in 10 years. Yeah? But I'm sure it will exist, and it will be, I would say, more complex as a logistic request, and that means we have to improve our people to be prepared for that.
And another important aspect of the future and the new generation that will also be responsible for this aspect is sustainability.
Absolutely.
Do you think that the sector will be able to deliver the goals set in Europe but also in Eurasian transportation? Because this is critical. I think that rail is the enabler for a greener transportation.
Absolutely, yeah. And one of our basics in FELB, we defined in this year, in 21, we will be a company to develop sustainability in all of activities we are doing. It starts, we are just now, we are sitting in an office in a green licensed building. And we will improve this office. We are using electric cars. We are trying to use more and more environmental equipment. We have today here a presentation for the small container issues. Yeah. We started a couple of weeks ago to present in all our offers to the clients and also in all our invoicing an overview about the CO2 emissions on a way for the container between Asia and Europe, and also to compare that CO2 emission with benchmarks with the air freight and with the ocean freight solution. Yeah? But the client will get efficiently more overview. We are checking up all our partners, our service partners, what is their policy for sustainability. And that will become an absolutely remark for us and a basic solution mark for cooperation with whom we are going forward.
So you think that we are moving towards the right direction and you're optimistic?
We have to activate this thinking and also realizing. And but I'm absolutely sure the younger generation is not only motivated, also very, very, I would say, socialized in this way, and that is absolutely good for us. Maybe it costs on a first stage a little bit more investments, more efforts, and maybe also it costs some money in the beginning, but the feedback and the return will be larger as we are expecting it now.
All right, and now let's move to a different topic. We currently find ourselves in the European Silk Road Summit. You have joined this event. I also met you in the RailFreight Summit in Poland a few months ago. What do you enjoy most in these kind of events?
You know, for me, and I think it's for everybody, yeah, it is very, very important to change certain different points of view. To exchange what is happening in a corridor, what everybody is able to do under all the political influences we are feeling. Everybody feels it, yeah. Who are the right partners for developments and ideas, what we really need in investments in infrastructure, in investments in certain procedures. We know everybody is looking forward to get challenges for digitalization and documentation, to have electronic documents also for railway and also for multimodal procedures. And in this way, we are very, very frankly discussing and coming together. And we feel, and I'm very, very thankful for RailFreight and ProMedia as a very, very proactive company structure, which is organizing this dialogue between the certain different parties. And we lost, I would say, a lot of power in the time 5 years ago and later. We are just now learning this dialogue is basically important to bring our input from everybody into the product portfolio to be better. Yeah? And what is also important, we are learning at the moment or taking part people from 34 or 36 countries on a container shipments Asia, Europe. More and more people with certain different backgrounds are coming together, and to find out what is the key of our common understanding. That is so important, and that's why I'm very, very thankful to have such events as now in Amsterdam. And next year, I know you're planning 4 or 5 new events, and that's a good way.
Yes, and we hope to see you there, of course, in as many as possible. So, from what I understand, the key elements for you are information exchange, dialogue, understanding, but also networking, right?
For sure. You know, first of all, you need dialogue. Second, with the dialogue, to find out, trust each other. And third is acting. Acting together, and it means we have a lot of possibilities for more cooperation and wherever we can find out when the people are meeting each other. Yeah? But trust is one of the main important things, and to be trusty means also to be open and to change what is the basic of success, and more or less everybody is feeling 21 or already 2021 or financially for our industry very, very successful years. But the success was very, very influenced from the pandemic crisis over the world, and we have to secure this success also for 22, 23, 24. Yeah? And that means that we are fulfilling more quality and present it to the market, and that is for me one of the main benchmarks to have also success in the future. Quality is a question of our own understanding.
That's a nice remark. Now, as a closing, if you could convey a message to the industry, what would it be?
Please stay optimistic. Fulfill every day your job in regard of your clients and not in regard of some political expectations or whatever is happening and influencing us. Please stay open for innovations and be happy you are joining on an industry or on a field of logistics which is very, very motivating because we are pioneers in that. We are connecting with a lot of ways of connectivity, Asia and Europe. And that is the basic for our further development of the next generations to be and to live peaceful and successful, economically successful in the future.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Leuschner. It was really a pleasure.
Thank you so much. It is a pleasure for me.
En ook u kunt hier zitten, want deze coronaproof studio is te huur voor uw congres, vergadering of webinar. We hebben alle techniek in huis om u hierbij te helpen. Kijk voor meer informatie op promedia.nl. Ik zie u graag in onze studio.